What's good? All right, we're going to discuss what went down between CM Punk and Jack Perry. The footage was finally revealed. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the shot that Will Ospreay fired back at Triple H, even though Triple H wasn't talking about Will Ospreay when he said what he said. And then from there, we're going to finish the rest of the AEW review from April the 10th, 2024. All right. So basically, we are shown what happens. So basically, the only thing that really occurred was there was no audio. So we don't know what CM Punk and Jack Perry said to one another. We don't know. So basically, so CM Punk, him and Jack Perry, they exchanged some words. I don't know what was said. I can't even begin to think what they probably said to one another. It probably had to do with some profanity. Probably had some profanity involved, more than likely. So CM Punk basically shoves Jack Perry before staff has intervened. Then CM Punk, he walks back. And then basically what he does next is he lightly gets Jack Perry into a guillotine choke. So he barely put him in it, just for like a couple seconds. And he was pointing his finger at Tony Khan. And that was all we saw. So, yeah. Again, this is all bullshit. This is all nonsense. I have no idea why Tony Khan decided to air this. This makes AEW as a company look foolish. It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. CM Punk was basically upset. He got tired of being the brunt of everyone's jokes by the elite, and he just had enough of it. And CM Punk did not lunge at Tony Khan. Like I said before, when this all happened last year, I even said when it first went down, CM Punk more than likely just cussed out Tony Khan. That's probably all what he said and did. When you say lunge, that means you're about to pounce on someone. And CM Punk did not do that. CM Punk didn't do it. Now, he definitely probably screamed, "I fucking hate this place. This place is a joke. Tony Khan's a clown." He did allude to that when he was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. So what he said was true. And what he said about AEW also was correct, that they're nothing more than an indie promotion. All they want to do is 5-star matches. They don't want to make money. And so this is just basically just a waste of everyone's time. That's all this was. This makes everyone look bad at AEW. And I feel bad for everybody. I legitimately feel bad for everyone involved. All right? CM Punk probably just sitting back laughing his ass off. I don't know why they even aired this. This was clearly just a ratings ploy to try to get some ratings and try to get people to start talking about AEW once again, because for a while, even though they brought in Mercedes Moné and Will Ospreay and Okada, that's not getting them what they need. That's not, that's not generating headlines and all that stuff anymore. It's not. So they had to go back in the past and reveal what happened when all this shit should have been dropped and let go. This is pathetic. This is absolutely fucking pathetic. Tony Khan is indeed an actual clown. And I've said this for months. It is time for Tony Khan to be removed. Same thing with the Bucks. Have their their EVP status ripped away, taken away. And that's it. Again, no money can be made off of this. No money can be made. So it just shows you that Tony Khan and AEW have WWE on their brain 24/7. WWE is not looking for AEW like that. They're not. And they don't view them as competition. They don't view AEW as competition. And they're not. They're not. This literally was just a waste of time. So, continuing on, this basically just sets up a fourth match between the Young Bucks and FTR, basically. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So, moving on from that, Will Ospreay, he comes out in the middle of the show. So, he basically alluded to the recent interview that Daniel Bryan had, telling the American Dragon he has no right to tell him about the grind. He's actually talking about Triple H to an extent. Will Ospreay says that healthier, younger, and better men have tried and failed to take down the aerial assassin before giving Danielson props as a living legend. He cannot accept being considered one of the best of all time until he's beaten Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. This is AEW where the best wrestle. And Bryan will find himself coming up short against the ace of all of the wrestling. Danielson will find out why Will Ospreay is on another level. So, I really don't understand why Will Ospreay thought that Triple H was referring to him when he wasn't. He was just talking about people in general, about them, realizing when you come to WWE, you are going to have to work more than one time a week. Even if you're on NXT, you're going to have to work 3 times a week. You'll do NXT, and then you'll basically do live events over the weekend. It may be on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday. You'll have to do, you'll have to work house shows, basically. You'll have to work live events. And that's just what it is. And then he mentioned, what many before Will Ospreay have said. Talked about Triple H, screwing Stephanie. Well, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, that's so old and played out. It's just dumb. But the rest of the promo that he mentioned about Danielson was great. So this is pretty good. But all in all, man, AEW, if things don't change, we could be witnessing the very slow death of AEW. And I don't want AEW to not be around. I want AEW to thrive, but they can't do it under the leadership of Tony Khan and under the EVPs. They just can't. All of them have to be removed. Tony Khan, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega. They all have to be removed. It's just what has to happen. All right. So we kicked the show off with the first match tonight. It was supposed to be Samoa Joe taking on Dustin Rhodes, but that didn't happen because Swerve, he blindsided Samoa Joe and he beat down Samoa Joe. He put him through a table via the spear, and then officials, they run to check out Samoa Joe, and then they force Strickland to back away from the fallen champ. So that's fine. This actually kind of makes sense. Moving on. So we see footage from last week what happened with the best friends with them breaking up. So Chris Statlander, she was upset about what Trent Beretta did as well. So she was upset for whatever reason. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this makes no sense, but it is what it is. Renee Paquette, she informs us that Orange Cassidy is going to have a match next week, and he's going to address Trent Beretta's actions. Who gives a fuck? This makes zero sense. Moving on, so Edge, he defeated Penta El Zero Miedo in a pretty solid match. Went kind of long, but good match nonetheless. They have good chemistry together. So Edge retains via the spear for the 1-2-3. Makes sense. Post-match, the lights go out. Brody King and Julia Hart, they appear. Brody King then beats the shit out of Edge. Well, Nightingale comes out. She makes the save. And so, then the lights, go back off, and then they dip out. So, that kind of makes sense. This basically just sets up a tag match involving Edge and Will Nightingale versus Julia Hart and Brody King next week on Dynamite. Okay, cool. I can dig it, but man, Edge was out of breath, completely out of breath. I'm like, damn, bro. Get this man some oxygen. Holy shit. Moving on. So, Renee Paquette, she's talking to Chris Jericho. So, Chris Jericho commends Hook on bringing Shibata into this. He gives both of them advice and saying how they're going to take out Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor and Anthony Ogogo, who we haven't seen in about 3 years. I'm like, damn, what's he been doing all this time? Whoa. Like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Anthony Ogogo? We haven't seen him in years. 3 years to be exact. This is crazy. Where's he going? I mean, where has he been? What's happened to him? What has happened to him? I don't know. So, moving on. So, we go backstage. Mark Briscoe's talking to Renee Paquette and Eddie Kingston. So, basically, Mark Briscoe is the new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, cool. Not all that important. So, Edge, he interrupts both of them. He says, if all three of them are good, ahead of Dynasty. And then, like I said before, this leads into a tag match involving him, Willow Nightingale, and Julia Hart, and Brody King next week. Moving on from that. So, FTR, they came out after the Young Bucks did their bullshit. So, Cash Wheeler asked if we need to focus on this. Other than the Bucks looking for a built-in excuse as to why they lost at All In. So, Cash then runs down the Bucks for focusing on the past. So, Dax addressed what the Bucks said in the past about being the bosses of this place. Dax admits to some of this, joking that without the Bucks, he might be shaving Cash's bag still. I'm like, nah, not really. He said that the Bucks are angry that FTR has eclipsed them as the best tag team of all time. The Bucks used to be all about the three letters AEW, but now they've only been obsessed with becoming EVPs as of late. FTR, on the other hand, plan to continue to help build things for the business and for the fans. Dax continues by saying, this is not about All In or Wembley. This is about AEW and the match at Dynasty. The Bucks may have built the foundation of this place, but FTR will take shingle by shingle to put this roof on this house, only to blow the whole thing back off. Okay, this makes sense, but I really don't give a shit about the Young Bucks versus FTR 4. It's not really all that important. Like, this isn't going to get any heat on what happens. Moving on. So, Julia Hart, she's got a message for Willow Nightingale ahead of her TBS championship match at Wembley. She just did a really creepy vignette. Moving on, show Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and Anthony Ogogo, the Shane Taylor Promotions crew, they won their tag match. Basically, Chris Jericho and Hook, they argued back and forth for whatever reason. So, I figured they were going to turn Jericho heel all along. This was all a ruse anyway. Who gives a shit? Shibata lost. Makes sense. He got put to sleep. I don't give a damn about any of this shit. Moving on. So, Renee Paquette reveals to Dustin Rhodes that Samoa Joe is cleared to wrestle after what happened earlier on in the night. Okay, fine. So, Kazuchika Okada, he defeats a jobber. I have no idea who it was. So he wins via the Rainmaker. Post-match, Okada gets on the mic to accept Pac's challenge. So he's going to be facing Pac at Dynasty. So the Young Bucks, they take out Pac. FTR, they make the save. And then Okada, he brings in a steel chair and beats down my bad, not, I was about to say, my bad. Okay, hold on. Okada beats down FTR. I was about to say the Revival. My bad, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say the Revival. That's why I caught myself a couple times. I was like, oh shit, I can't call them the Revival. So anyway, FTR gets their asses beat. And then they also eat a BTE trigger as well for the Troubles. Okay, cool. Moving on. So, the gang bang. So they address the Acclaim. So Jay White said he's looking to fight with somebody. Anyway, he's gonna be fighting someone on Rampage. Who gives a shit? Moving on. So we then had a Charleston Championship champagne toast. So Thunder Rosa came out, and then she was blindsided by Toni Storm. And Toni Storm beats down Thunder Rosa. Deonna Purrazzo comes out, makes the save. I believe she said she tried to help out Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa shoved her away. Deonna Purrazzo, I believe she said "fuck Thunder Rosa" or "fuck this." She said something like of that sort. So that's fine. How the mighty have fallen from Grace, that being Deonna Purrazzo. It's like she's only been there for what a month and a half, and she's not really doing much of anything. I don't know. Kind of wish she was in WWE again. I don't know. Moving on. So, Mariah May, she defeats Anna Jay with the help of... So she wins via the Gore special. So, Mariah May wins. So, Anna Jay, she's about to get some comeuppance. But Mina, whatever her name is, she comes through. This cute little Japanese girl, this cute little Japanese wrestler from Stardom comes through. So she begins to pour champagne into the mouth of Mariah May, and these two start making out. I'm like, oh shit, let's get it on. This is great. I love this. More of this, please. Ooh wee. More of this. This was hot. This was absolutely hot. This was great. I love this. Great shit. Moving on. This is one of the only good things on the show, really. So Mercedes Moné, she's been there for 4 weeks now. This is week 5 for her. So she has an awkward backstage segment with Alex Marvez. So basically, Mercedes talks about facing either Willow Nightingale or Julia Hart. She says that she hates to lose. So, basically, Marvez, he asked who Mercedes would rather face. And then, before she could answer, she's taken out by a mystery woman. Don't know who it could be. And then she's just like moaning, like, I'm like, what the hell? But this is fine, I guess. This is okay. But Mercedes, man, her promos have been shit as of late. Oh boy, oof, not good. Again, I'm down for whodunit. So this could either be Willow or it could be Chris Statlander. I don't know. It's interesting. It's going to be one of those two. I think a heel Chris Statlander could be cool. Willow's too much of a baby face. She's too much of a lovable baby face. Let's just put it like that. Main event. So, Samoa Joe put to sleep Dustin Rhodes. Kind of funny because they did a WWE move by doing a guy who was Samoan who defeated another Rhodes. Interesting. So, post-match, Swerve comes out and him and Samoa Joe, they fight. They have a little fight scene. So, Swerve gets the chain. He beats down on Samoa Joe. And that was it. Dynamite, not good. Not good. This show has no sense of direction. And it's too focused on the WWE and not focused on itself. That's the problem. That's the damn problem right there. AEW is going to have to do way better. They're going to have to do better. Enough is enough. No more excuses. No more excuses. You can take those excuses and shove them up your fucking ass. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. This show was a complete waste of 2 hours. Complete waste. The CM Punk stuff makes them look like fucking fools. Completely. Everyone should be embarrassed. Like, when I saw the footage, I didn't even really care about the rest of the show. I just didn't. AEW has officially become the laughingstock of pro wrestling. It just has. And this was proof. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.